Hello there. Tonight we'll step into a world woven from starlight and the comforting scent of freshly baked bread deep beneath the earth. Imagine a gentle, pulsating glow emanating from the very ground, soft and inviting, like distant fireflies dancing in the twilight. This is not the harsh light of day, but a luminous whisper, hinting at something wondrous hidden from the bustling world above. We follow a faint, almost imperceptible path that winds through ancient, gnarled roots and moss-covered stones, each step cushioned by a carpet of emerald green. The air grows cooler, carrying with it a faint, sweet fragrance that is utterly enchanting. It's the scent of warmth, of something wholesome and utterly peaceful. Before you settle in comfortably, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment below with your location and what time it is where you are. You'll see just how many others are awake with you tonight. You're not alone in the dark. Now dim the lights, climb into bed, pull the blanket up, release all tension, and let go of every thought. Just focus on tonight's journey. The path narrows, leading us deeper into the heart of the glowing hills. The soft light around us intensifies, not blindingly so, but with a gentle, reassuring brilliance that illuminates delicate ferns clinging to rock faces and tiny, iridescent mushrooms that seem to pulse with their own inner light. We press on, a sense of quiet anticipation building with each step. The ground beneath our feet feels solid, ancient, a testament to the timeless nature of this hidden place. The air here is still, undisturbed by the winds of the surface world, and the only sounds are the gentle rustling of unseen leaves and the soft murmur of a subterranean stream somewhere in the distance. It's a place of profound peace, a sanctuary from the demands of the waking world. Suddenly, a shift in the air, a subtle change in the rock formations, signals our approach. The path opens into a wider, cavern-like space, still bathed in the soft, otherworldly glow. And there, almost imperceptibly at first, is the entrance. It's not grand or imposing, but rather an unassuming archway carved directly into the living rock, framed by intertwining vines that seem to sparkle with tiny dewdrops. The wood of the archway itself looks old, smoothed by countless gentle touches, and it radiates a faint warmth that draws us closer. It feels less like an entrance and more like a welcoming embrace, an invitation into a secret world where time moves at a different pace. As we step through the archway, the soft fragrance that has been teasing us intensifies, becoming a rich, comforting tapestry of aromas, warm bread, a hint of something sweet and nutty, and the subtle earthiness of fresh yeast. The air inside is even warmer, a pleasant contrast to the cool passage we just navigated. The walls of this space are not rough, unfinished rock, but smoothly hewn stone, polished to a soft sheen by time and care. Tiny, sparkling crystals are embedded within the stone, catching the ambient light and scattering it in 1,000 shimmering points like a quiet galaxy within the earth. These aren't harsh, dazzling lights, but gentle pinpricks of luminescence, guiding our gaze further inward. The space beyond the archway unfolds into a cozy, circular chamber. It's not vast or echoing, but perfectly proportioned, designed for comfort and quiet industry. The floor is made of large, flat stones, worn smooth by generations of careful feet. and a faint, almost imperceptible warmth rises from them. Around the perimeter of the chamber, built directly into the stone walls, are various alcoves and nooks, each designed for a specific purpose. We can discern shelves laden with sacks of flour, barrels of what might be honey or dried fruits, and bundles of fragrant herbs hanging from the ceiling, their scents mingling to create an intoxicating blend. Everything is meticulously organized, a testament to the order and precision that govern this hidden realm. The source of the pervasive warmth becomes clear as we move further into the chamber. At its heart stands a magnificent hearth, built of dark, polished stone, from which a soft, steady glow emanates. There are no roaring flames, no crackling sounds, but rather a deep, enduring warmth that seems to permeate the very stones of the bakery. It's a different kind of heat, a gentle, sustained warmth that speaks of long hours of patient labor and a constant, unwavering dedication. This warmth is not just physical, it feels like a comforting presence wrapping around us like a soft, invisible blanket. It promises rest, solace, and the quiet satisfaction of a world where everything is just as it should be. The very air seems to hum with contentment, a soft, resonant frequency that soothes the mind and invites the spirit to unwind. It's a profound sense of coming home, even though we've never been here before. The warmth from the hearth wraps around us like a familiar embrace, a gentle hum resonating through the very stones of this hidden chamber. The light, though soft, allows us to discern the exquisite details of our surroundings. The walls are not just smooth stone, but have been lovingly carved with intricate patterns that seem to flow and intertwine, depicting delicate vines, tiny stylized flowers, and what look like ancient mythical creatures peering out from the rock. These carvings are not sharp or angular, but softly rounded, as if smoothed by the passage of countless quiet centuries. They invite the eye to linger, tracing their graceful lines, and each time we look, we seem to notice a new tiny detail we hadn't seen before. The air here is remarkably still, a profound quiet broken only by the soft, almost imperceptible sounds of the bakery itself. We can hear the gentle whisper of warm air circulating, the faint creak of an old wooden shelf settling, and the distant, rhythmic drip of water, a calming counterpoint to the pervasive warmth. This isn't a silent, empty quiet, but a living, breathing stillness, filled with the presence of patient industry. It's the kind of quiet that allows thoughts to unfurl slowly, like petals opening in the moonlight, without any urgency or demand. Our muscles begin to relax, tension seeping away with each breath, as if the very atmosphere of this place is designed to soothe and restore. As our eyes adjust fully to the soft luminescence, we notice the various work surfaces within the chamber. They are massive, flat slabs of what appears to be polished granite, cool to the touch despite the ambient warmth, and incredibly smooth. These aren't just utilitarian tables. They are clearly instruments of creation, bearing faint, almost invisible traces of flour and the sweet residue of past bakes. Around them are an assortment of tools, each one meticulously crafted and gleaming softly in the subdued light. There are wooden rolling pins with beautifully carved handles, large flat kneading boards, and an array of intricate cutters shaped like leaves, stars, and crescent moons. Everything has a place, a specific spot where it rests when not in use, contributing to the sense of serene order that pervades the bakery. The focal point of the chamber, besides the hearth, is a large, sturdy wooden table in the very center. Upon it rests a vast, shallow bowl, crafted from a dark, rich wood that seems to absorb and reflect the light in equal measure. Within this bowl, a mound of dough slowly, gently rises, a living, breathing entity. It's covered with a fine, translucent cloth, and as we watch, we can see the subtle expansion, the almost imperceptible swell of its surface, a testament to the quiet magic of yeast at work. The dough itself looks impossibly soft, a delicate, creamy color, and even from a distance we can sense its yielding texture, promising the most tender of baked goods. Across from us, near one of the carved stone walls, are shelves filled with an array of glass jars and earthenware pots. These contain what must be the ingredients for the bakery's magical creations. We can glimpse shimmering sugar crystals that catch the light like tiny diamonds, plump dried berries the color of twilight, and nuts of various shapes and sizes, their natural oils lending a rich, subtle aroma to the air. There are also bundles of dried herbs hanging upside down, their leaves a muted green or silver, releasing their own calming fragrances. One jar, larger than the rest, holds a golden liquid that glows faintly, hinting at the presence of rare enchanted honey. Each ingredient seems to possess a subtle glow of its own, as if infused with the very light of the glowing hills above. The floor beneath our feet feels cool and solid, a grounding presence that connects us to the earth itself. It's made of large, irregular flagstones, worn smooth by generations of careful feet, and a faint, almost imperceptible warmth rises from them, a residual heat from the hearth that seems to permeate the very foundation of the bakery. There are no sharp edges or jarring imperfections. Everything here is designed for comfort and ease of movement, for quiet, unhurried work. The very air seems to hum with a gentle, resonant frequency, a soft, soothing vibration that encourages deeper breaths and a release of any lingering tension. It's as if the bakery itself is breathing, a slow, steady inhale and exhale in perfect harmony with the rising dough and the steady glow of the hearth. Looking around, we notice a small bubbling spring at one end of the chamber, where crystal-clear water trickles gently into a shallow stone basin. The sound is barely a whisper, a delicate counterpoint to the pervasive quiet, and the water itself seems to shimmer with an inner light, reflecting the subtle glow from the walls and hearth. This must be the source of the fresh, pure water used in the baking, and its presence adds to the sense of natural harmony within the space. It's a reminder that this hidden bakery is not just a place of industry, but a place deeply connected to the natural world, drawing its essence from the very heart of the glowing hills. The entire scene before us is one of profound tranquility and quiet abundance, an invitation to simply be in the moment, surrounded by warmth, comfort, and the promise of delicious, soothing delights. The subtle shift in the air, the enhanced warmth, and the gentle, almost imperceptible hum of the bakery itself all beckon us further into this serene space. As we stand amidst the fragrant warmth, our gaze is drawn to the central kneading table, where the rising dough seems to pulse with a quiet energy. And then we see him. Seated on a low, intricately carved wooden stool, his back to us, is the baker himself. He is a dwarf, unmistakably so, but not the gruff, stern figure of legend. Instead, his posture is one of profound focus and gentle precision, his broad shoulders slightly stooped over the vast bowl of dough. His hands, though undeniably strong and calloused from years of work, move with a surprising lightness and grace. They are large, yet incredibly deft as he reaches out to lift the fine cloth covering the dough. The movement is slow, deliberate, almost reverent, as if he is unveiling a precious treasure. He doesn't rush, nor does he make any sudden movements that might disturb the delicate process of fermentation. Every action is measured, intentional, a testament to a deep respect for his craft and the ingredients he works with. The soft glow from the hearth illuminates the scene, casting long, dancing shadows that make his movements seem even more fluid and dreamlike. As he turns slightly, we catch our first glimpse of his face. It is a kind face, framed by a meticulously braided beard the color of rich, dark earth, streaked with threads of silver like moonlight on a midnight stream. His eyes, when they meet ours for a fleeting moment, are deep-set and luminous, holding the quiet wisdom of countless nights spent in this hidden sanctuary. There's a profound gentleness in their gaze, a warmth that mirrors the comforting heat of the bakery. His brow is furrowed not with worry, but with concentration, a slight smile playing on his lips as if he shares a secret understanding with the living dough before him. He is Master Brocker, the guardian of this midnight bakery, and his presence radiates a calming reassurance. He begins to work the dough, his movements a mesmerizing rhythm. He doesn't knead with brute force, but with a surprising tenderness, pushing and folding, stretching and turning. His hands seem to coax the dough, coaxing out its hidden elasticity, its strength. There's a soft thump, slap, fold sound that accompanies his movements, a gentle percussion that blends seamlessly with the other quiet sounds of the bakery. It's a hypnotic rhythm, steady and unwavering, and it feels as though the very act of watching him work begins to lull us into a deeper state of relaxation. Each time he folds the dough, it seems to sigh softly, releasing tiny pockets of air, making it more pliable, more willing. Brocker seems to be communicating with the dough, an unspoken dialogue between creator and creation. He touches it with his fingertips, sensing its texture, its readiness, its warmth. Then he dips his hands into a small bowl of flour, not lavishly, but just enough to prevent sticking, and the fine white dust settles like a soft veil over the surface of the dough, making it even more ethereal in the glow. The scent of yeast, warm and earthy, intensifies around him, a comforting aroma that evokes memories of home and hearth, of simpler, more peaceful times. It's the scent of nourishment, of life, and it fills the air with a profound sense of well-being. He works with an unhurried grace, his movements economical and efficient, yet never rushed. There's no tension in his shoulders, no strain in his posture, just a quiet dedication to the task at hand. It's clear that this is not merely a job for him, but a calling, a deeply ingrained passion. The act of baking is an extension of his very being, a way of expressing the quiet beauty and warmth that resides within him. His gentle hands are conduits for this inner peace, imbuing every loaf and pastry with a subtle essence of calm. It's as if with every knead he is kneading away the worries of the world, leaving behind only comfort and tranquility. As we continue to observe, we notice the subtle details of his attire. He wears a simple, practical tunic of sturdy, undyed linen, its fabric softened by countless washes. A leather apron, well worn and supple, is tied around his waist, dusted lightly with flour, a testament to his industriality. There are no elaborate jewels or ostentatious adornments, only the quiet dignity of a craftsman dedicated to his art. Even the slight movements of his fingers, as they gently smooth the dough, reveal a lifetime of practice, a deep, intuitive understanding of his medium. His presence fills the space with an aura of competence and calm, making us feel utterly safe and at ease in this hidden world. The rhythmic thump, slap, fold of Master Broker's hands continues, a soothing cadence that seems to sync with the gentle rise and fall of our own breathing. As he works, a faint, almost melodic hum begins to emanate from him, a soft, low note that is barely audible above the quiet sounds of the bakery. It's not a tune exactly, but a resonant vibration, a sound that speaks of deep contentment and a profound connection to his craft. He moves with an ease that suggests not effort, but an extension of his very being, his movements economical and precise, each action serving a clear purpose in the transformation of the humble dough. He pauses just for a moment to sprinkle a fine dusting of what looks like ground oats onto the kneading surface, preparing it for the next stage. His fingers spread the fine powder evenly, a delicate gesture that belies their strength. Then, with a satisfied sigh, he gently pushes the mass of dough into a more compact form, shaping it with a quiet reverence. It's clear that this is more than just baking. It's an act of creation, imbued with a quiet magic. The air around us fills with the enhanced aroma of warm yeast and a subtle sweetness that hints at the promise of deliciousness. As he continues his work, a soft, almost imperceptible murmur escapes his lips. It's too quiet to discern words at first, but as we lean in just a fraction, drawn by the gentle sound, we realize he's speaking, not to us, but to the dough itself, or perhaps to the ancient spirits of the bakery. His voice is a low, rumbling baritone, surprisingly soft, like distant thunder on a warm summer evening. He speaks of old things, of the whispers carried on subterranean winds, of the secrets held within the earth's embrace. It is then that he begins to share, not through direct address, but through a gentle monologue, the tale of the ancient recipes. These are not simply lists of ingredients, Broker murmurs, his hands never ceasing their rhythmic work, but echoes of time, whispers from generations long past. He speaks of his great-grandmother, a dwarf with hands like his own, who first discovered the secret of flour ground by moonlight, shimmering with a faint silvery dust. He recounts how she would listen to the songs of the underground springs, believing they carried the pure essence needed for truly light and airy bread. Each ingredient, he explains, has a story, a lineage. The honey he uses, for instance, is not from surface bees, but gathered by tiny, luminescent cavern dwellers who collect nectar from phosphorescent fungi deep within the earth, giving it a unique, subtle sweetness and a faint inner glow. He speaks of a recipe for dream loaves, passed down through his family for centuries, a bread so soft and comforting it was said to lull even the most restless spirits into a peaceful slumber. The secret, he whispers, lies not just in the rare sleep-root herb he incorporates, but in the slow, patient fermentation, allowing the dough to absorb the quietude of the deep earth. Each fold, he explains, is a prayer for tranquility, each need a wish for restful dreams. He talks of a starlight cake, a delicacy reserved for the quietest hours of the night. Its recipe requires only the purest well water, flour that has been kissed by the moon, and tiny edible stardust collected from specific constellations. Broker's voice is a steady drone, mesmerizing in its quiet intensity. He describes how some recipes are so old they were etched onto runic stones, their meanings slowly deciphered over generations, revealing not just instructions but philosophical insights into the nature of baking and life itself. He speaks of the whispering wraps, thin, delicate pastries filled with finely ground nuts and sun-dried berries, which must be kneaded only during a new moon, when the earth's energy is at its most receptive and quiet. The dough for these wraps, he explains, is so sensitive it can almost hear the baker's intentions, absorbing the peace or agitation of the hands that work it. He mentions a specific method for ember biscuits, small crisp rounds that are baked not in ovens, but directly on the cooling embers of the hearth, imbuing them with a smoky, comforting flavor that reminds one of deep, ancient warmth. The recipes, he insists, are not rigid rules, but living traditions, adapting subtly with each generation, yet always retaining their core essence of comfort and nourishment. They are imbued with the wisdom of the Dwarf people, their deep connection to the earth, and their profound understanding of the cycles of rest and renewal. Listening to him, we realize that these recipes are more than just culinary instructions. They are stories in themselves, narratives woven into the very fabric of the bakery. Each ingredient, each step, carries a piece of history, a fragment of ancient knowledge, a whisper from the past. The flour, the water, the yeast, they are not mere components, but characters in a grand, ongoing narrative of sustenance and peace. His voice, gentle and unwavering, continues to fill the quiet space, creating a tapestry of sound that is as comforting as the pervasive warmth and the sweet aromas. The stories he shares are not thrilling adventures, but quiet tales of dedication, patience, and the enduring power of gentle creation, leading us deeper into the tranquil heart of the midnight bakery.
Master Brocker gently places the kneaded dough into a large wooden trough, covering it once more with the fine, almost translucent cloth. He then gestures with a slight nod of his head toward a quieter corner of the chamber, where a soft, rhythmic hum has become more noticeable. This hum is unlike any we've heard before. It's not mechanical, but organic, almost musical, like a distant, contented sigh. As we follow his gaze, we see it, the stardust flour mill. It's not a grand, imposing structure, but rather a delicate marvel of dwarven craftsmanship. Built from a combination of smooth, dark stone and polished pale wood, it stands about as tall as Brocker himself. Its most striking feature is a large, translucent crystal, perfectly spherical, embedded within its top. This crystal pulses with a faint internal light, shimmering with a myriad of tiny glittering motes like captured starlight. These motes dance and swirl within the crystal, creating a miniature galaxy that shifts and flows with exquisite grace. Brocker approaches the mill with the same quiet reverence he showed the dough. He explains, in his soft, rumbling voice, that this mill doesn't operate on conventional power. It draws its energy, he murmurs, from the unseen currents that flow through the heart of the glowing hills, from the ancient magic that permeates the very earth beneath us. He places a small, empty wooden bowl beneath a spout at the base of the mill, and with a gentle touch, he rotates a small, intricately carved dial on its side. Immediately, the hum intensifies, becoming a deeper, richer resonance that seems to vibrate through the floor beneath our feet. The motes within the crystal begin to spin faster, swirling into a miniature vortex of light. From the spout, a fine silvery dust begins to trickle out, catching the light with an ethereal glow. This is no ordinary flower. It cascades into the wooden bowl like liquid moonlight, shimmering and sparkling with every falling grain. It smells of fresh rain, of clean earth, and a subtle sweetness that is utterly unique. This, Brocker explains, is the stardust flower. He tells us that this flower is not harvested from fields above ground, but is meticulously gathered from specific crystalline deposits found deep within the earth, where the very essence of ancient starlight has seeped into the rock over millennia. Once gathered, these deposits are brought to the mill, where the crystal sphere, attuned to the subtle energies of the earth, gently grinds them into this fine, luminescent powder. The process is slow, unhurried, as if the mill itself is breathing, inhaling the raw starlight and exhaling the finished flower. The air around the mill shimmers faintly, as if infused with tiny and visible particles of light. Brocker demonstrates how the texture of the flower can be adjusted by the slightest turn of the dial. He shows us how a coarser grind yields a more rustic, hearty bread, while a finer, almost gossamer-like powder is perfect for delicate pastries and ethereal cakes. He sprinkles a pinch of the finely ground flour onto his palm, and it glistens like fairy dust, so light that it seems to defy gravity, slowly drifting down in a silent cascade of silver. It feels incredibly soft, almost like air, and leaves a faint, cool sensation on the skin. He emphasizes that the magic of this flower lies not just in its unique origin, but in its ability to absorb and enhance the subtle energies of the other ingredients. When mixed with the pure spring water from the cavern's own source and fermented with their unique calm-inducing yeast, it creates a dough that is exceptionally light, resilient, and infused with a soothing quality.
He watches the flour collect in the bowl with a quiet satisfaction, his eyes reflecting the soft glow from the mill. The rhythmic hum of the stardust flour mill continues, a constant, comforting presence in the background. It's a sound that speaks of hidden forces at work, of a profound connection between the earth and the heavens, translated into something tangible and nourishing. It's a gentle, consistent sound, perfectly aligned with the overall tranquility of the bakery. Watching the process, a profound sense of wonder settles over us, realizing that even the most fundamental ingredient in this bakery is imbued with such extraordinary care and mystical origin. It's a reminder that even in the simplest things there can be deep magic and profound peace. Then Brocker carefully gathers the newly milled flour, adding it to a large earthenware crock, ready for the next phase of his midnight creations. With the stardust flour now freshly milled, gleaming softly in its earthenware crock, Master Brocker returns to his central kneading table. The trough of dough, which he had set aside, has continued its gentle, almost imperceptible rise, a living testament to the efficacy of the unique yeast and the calming properties of the subterranean air. He approaches it with a quiet satisfaction, a soft hum once again emanating from his broad chest. He carefully uncovers the dough, and we see that it has expanded beautifully, becoming even more pillowy and soft. Its surface is smooth and inviting, a testament to its readiness. Brocker's strong yet gentle hands reach into the trough, scooping out a generous portion of the supple mass. It stretches and yields, impossibly elastic, almost as if it breathes with a life of its own. He places this portion onto the smooth, cool granite surface of the kneading table, and it settles there like a cloud, shimmering faintly in the soft light of the bakery. Now begins the intricate dance of shaping, an art form that Brocker clearly cherishes. He doesn't rush, but rather takes his time, his movements deliberate and unhurried. For the first creation, he begins to gently pat and flatten the dough, coaxing it into a wide, even circle. His fingers, dusted lightly with the stardust flour, move with a precision born of countless hours of practice, ensuring an even thickness. The dough responds beautifully, yielding to his touch without resistance, its elasticity a joy to behold. He then reaches for a small, intricately carved wooden box, opening it to reveal an array of dried fruits and finely chopped nuts. There are plump dark berries that look like tiny jewels, and translucent golden slivers of something that smells faintly of sun-warmed honey. He sprinkles these over the flattened dough, distributing them evenly, each piece seeming to find its perfect resting place. The colors are muted, natural, blending harmoniously with the creamy hue of the dough. With a gentle sweep of his hands, he begins to roll the dough from one end, creating a long spiral shape. As he rolls, he murmurs softly, "This, my friends, is the dream coil." Each twist, each turn is meant to gently unwind the day's worries, leaving only peace in its wake. The dough forms a perfect spiral, each layer visible, holding its precious cargo of fruits and nuts securely within. The aroma of the dough, now mingled with the sweet and nutty scents, fills the air, promising warmth and gentle satisfaction. Next, he takes a smaller portion of dough, kneading it briefly with a renewed sense of purpose. This time, he doesn't flatten it, but instead begins to stretch and pull, creating long, thin strands. He then carefully braids these strands together, weaving them with a delicate touch. As he works, the braid takes on a life of its own, becoming a beautiful, intricate plait. "This is for the sleepy braid," he explains, his voice a low, soothing drone. It's said that following the pattern of the braid, even with closed eyes, can lead the mind to quiet paths. The finished braid is a masterpiece of simple elegance, its texture inviting to the touch. For another creation, he takes a small ball of dough and begins to roll it between his palms, forming a perfectly smooth sphere. He then presses his thumb gently into the center, creating a small indentation. From a tiny, ornate jar, he carefully spoons a dollop of a thick, golden preserve into the hollow. It shimmers like liquid sunshine, and its scent is subtly floral and sweet. "These are moondrops," he whispers, each one holding a concentrated drop of evening's tranquility. He then gently folds the dough over, sealing the preserve within, creating a small, perfectly round bun. Each shape he creates seems to have a story, a purpose beyond mere consumption. He speaks of worry knots, small twisted pastries meant to absorb anxieties, of star cookies, delicate star-shaped biscuits designed to encourage pleasant dreams, and of quiet crumbles, a looser, more rustic concoction meant to settle an unsettled spirit. His movements are fluid, almost meditative, as he transforms the pliable dough into these various forms. He seems to imbue each piece with a specific intention, a silent blessing of peace and comfort. The sheer variety of shapes and textures he creates is remarkable, all from the same basic dough. It's a testament to his skill and his deep understanding of his craft. He works with an unhurried grace, his movements economical and precise, yet never rushed. There's no tension in his shoulders, no strain in his posture, just a quiet dedication to the task at hand. The gentle sounds of his hands shaping the dough, the soft whisper of the flour, and the distant hum of the stardust mill blend into a symphony of calm. The air around us is thick with the promise of warmth and gentle satisfaction, and the emerging shapes on the granite slab seem to glow with an inner light, already radiating the calming essence Brocker infuses into them.
Master Brocker carefully places each perfectly shaped pastry onto large, flat wooden peels, their surfaces smooth and lightly dusted with flour. He works with a quiet precision, arranging the dream coils, sleepy braids, and moondrops with an almost artistic eye. Each one seems to glow faintly in the soft, ambient light of the bakery, already exuding a comforting aroma that hints at the warmth to come. The sight of these delicate creations, born from simple dough and Brocker's gentle hands, fills the air with a sense of quiet anticipation. Once a peel is full, he turns towards the far end of the chamber, where the true heart of the bakery resides, the ember-kissed ovens. These are not typical ovens, roaring with bright flames. Instead, they are built into a massive, arching alcove of dark, volcanic-like stone, their openings glowing with a deep, pulsating orange light.
It's a light that isn't harsh or aggressive, but soft and inviting, like the last embers of a campfire on a cool night. There are 3 such openings, each of a slightly different size, suggesting they are used for various types of bakes. Brocker explains in his low, soothing voice that these ovens are heated by subterranean geothermal vents, channeled and controlled by ancient dwarven magic. The heat is constant yet gentle, allowing for a slow, even bake that coaxes out the full flavor and calming essence of each ingredient. There are no visible flames, only a pervasive radiating warmth that makes the air around the ovens feel utterly comforting. The stones themselves seem to breathe, slowly absorbing and releasing the deep, enduring heat from the earth's core. With practiced ease, he slides the first peel, laden with the dream coils, into the largest of the ovens. The movement is fluid, precise, and there's a soft whoosh as the warm air inside embraces the dough. A wave of intensified aroma washes over us, the sweetness of baked fruits, the subtle nuttiness, and the rich yeasty scent of the bread, now beginning its magical transformation. The orange glow within the oven seems to deepen, reflecting off the smooth golden surfaces of the coils as they begin to bake. He then turns to another peel, laden with the intricate sleepy braids. For these, he chooses the middle-sized oven, explaining that they require a slightly less intense, more gradual heat to develop their delicate, crisp crust. As he slides them in, the braids seem to shimmer, their intertwined dough promising a unique texture. The quiet sounds of the bakery continue, the gentle hum of the stardust mill in the distance, the soft drip of the spring water, and now the subtle, almost imperceptible sizzling as the pastries begin to cook. Finally, he places the small moondrops into the smallest oven, designed for quick, delicate bakes. These require a tender kiss of heat, he whispers, just enough to warm the golden preserve within and give the dough a light, ethereal quality. The tiny buns nestle together on the peel, their smooth, rounded forms seeming even more inviting now that they are bathed in the soft, ember-like glow. Brocker closes the stone doors of each oven with a quiet click, sealing in the warmth and the promise of perfection. While the first batch bakes, he cleans his kneading surface with a gentle brush, collecting any stray flour or crumbs. His movements are unhurried, reflecting the steady rhythm of the ovens. He explains that the radiant heat from the ovens also serves to warm the entire bakery chamber, making it a continuously cozy and inviting space. The stone walls, warmed by the enduring glow, emanate a comforting heat that penetrates deep into our bones, coaxing any remaining tension from our bodies. The soft orange light from the ovens casts long, dancing shadows across the chamber, creating an atmosphere of profound tranquility. It's a mesmerizing display, a silent ballet of light and shadow that adds to the dreamlike quality of the midnight bakery. The air is now thick with the tantalizing aroma of baking, a rich, complex scent that is both earthy and sweet, comforting and utterly irresistible. It's the scent of nourishment, of home, and of something truly magical being brought to life. Watching the ovens glowing softly in the quiet darkness fills us with a deep sense of peace, knowing that within their warmth, Comfort is being quietly created, piece by comforting piece. As the gentle warmth emanates from the ember-kissed ovens, filling the subterranean chamber with a profound sense of comfort, the air begins to thicken with new, tantalizing scents. It's no longer just the rich aroma of baking dough, but a complex symphony of fragrances, each note carefully composed by master brokers' ancient recipes. These are the aromas of enchanted spices, mingling with sweet, warming ingredients, weaving a tapestry of scent that is both comforting and deeply soothing. From one of the nearby shelves, Broker retrieves a small, intricately carved wooden box. As he unlatches its tiny silver clasp and lifts the lid, a wave of concentrated fragrance wafts out, instantly captivating our senses. Inside, nestled on beds of velvet, are small, polished containers, each holding a different precious spice. He explains in his low, resonant voice that these are not ordinary spices. These, he whispers, are gathered from the moon-kissed slopes of the highest peaks, or from the deepest, most secluded clearings where ancient trees breathe forgotten perfumes into the air. He takes out a small pinch of what looks like finely ground cinnamon, but its scent is far more nuanced, carrying hints of vanilla and warm earth. He sprinkles it over a batch of delicate, crescent-shaped pastries he's just shaped, their surfaces already developing a faint golden hue. This is dream cinnamon, he explains, said to imbue dreams with sweetness and clarity. The act is delicate, almost a blessing, as the spice drifts down like fragrant dust. Next, he opens a tiny stoppered vial, releasing a single drop of a viscous amber liquid onto a cluster of small round buns. The scent that follows is unlike anything we've encountered, a warm, almost luminous aroma, reminiscent of toasted almonds and sun-warmed honey, but with an underlying whisper of something truly ancient and magical. This is glow sap, tapped from the roots of the oldest, most light-infused trees of the glowing hills. Just a drop awakens the spirit and soothes the mind. The buns seem to absorb the liquid instantly, their surfaces shimmering faintly in response. He moves with an unhurried grace, his actions precise and deliberate. For another batch, he carefully grinds a few tiny dark pods between two smooth, flat stones. A rich, earthy aroma, like deep chocolate, mingled with a hint of roasted coffee, and something subtly floral fills the air. These are night bloom beans, he explains, gathered only under the darkest sky. Their essence helps to ground restless thoughts. The resulting powder is sprinkled over a tray of rustic, hearty loaves, destined for a long, slow bake in the larger oven. The atmosphere in the bakery grows even more inviting, a profound sense of warmth and comfort permeating every corner. The air is now a rich tapestry of scents, the deep, grounding notes of the night bloom beans, the sweet warmth of the dream cinnamon, the ethereal glow of the glow sap, and the ever-present comforting aroma of fresh rising dough and the subtle heat from the ember-kissed ovens. Each new spice or ingredient added to a pastry contributes a unique layer to this fragrant symphony, promising not just deliciousness, but a profound sense of calm and well-being. Broker also introduces us to moon petal sugar, tiny iridescent crystals that are not grown but harvested from the dew-kissed petals of rare nocturnal flowers that bloom only once a year. When sprinkled over the cooling pastries, these crystals will melt into a delicate, sweet glaze, leaving a faint, shimmering iridescence. And he shows us a jar of sunken berry preserve, made from berries that grow exclusively in the deepest, most secluded pockets of the glowing hills, their flavor intensely sweet and slightly tart, a burst of hidden vitality. The collective aroma is incredibly soothing, wrapping around us like a soft, warm blanket. It's the kind of scent that conjures images of cozy evenings by a crackling fire, of peaceful moments shared with loved ones, of deep, uninterrupted rest. There's nothing harsh or overwhelming, only a gentle, harmonious blend that encourages deep, relaxed breaths. It's a fragrance that speaks of care, of tradition, and of a profound understanding of how to nourish not just the body, but the very soul. As the aromas deepen and meld, the subtle magic of the bakery becomes even more palpable. It's in the air we breathe, in the warmth that surrounds us, and in the quiet, dedicated movements of Master Broker. The scents seem to work in concert with the gentle light and the soft sounds, slowly lulling our minds into a state of deep tranquility. It's a sensory experience designed to quiet the restless spirit, preparing it for the profound peace that awaits within these enchanted midnight treats. The comforting symphony of aromas from the enchanted spices and baking dough continues to deepen, creating an atmosphere of profound serenity within Master Broker's hidden bakery. The soft, ember-like glow from the ovens pulsates gently, a steady heartbeat of warmth that fills the chamber. As the rich scents envelop us, Broker, with his usual quiet grace, begins to prepare for the next stage, the cooling of his exquisite creations. He retrieves the first wooden peel from the largest oven, its contents the dream coils, now transformed into perfectly golden spirals. They emerge with a delicate, crisp crust and a tantalizing sheen, their surfaces shimmering faintly in the soft light. The aroma of baked fruits and warm spiced dough intensifies, a truly irresistible fragrance that speaks of comfort and deep satisfaction. With gentle hands, he transfers each dream coil onto a series of smooth, dark slabs positioned near a cooler section of the chamber. These aren't just any cooling racks. The slabs appear to be made of highly polished obsidian or a similar dark volcanic stone, so smooth and reflective that they mirror the subtle glow of the bakery. As the warm pastries are placed upon them, a faint wisp of steam rises, carrying their intoxicating fragrance upwards. The cool surface of the stone immediately begins to draw out the intense heat, allowing the pastries to settle and firm, their flavors deepening as they cool. The reflective surface of the slabs catches the soft ambient light, making the pastries appear to float on a pool of moonlight, casting delicate, dancing reflections of their own. Next, Broker retrieves the sleepy braids from the middle oven. These are a beautiful, light golden brown, their intricate woven patterns now distinct and inviting. Their aroma is more subtle, a delicate blend of warm bread and a hint of the sleep root herb, promising profound tranquility. He carefully transfers them to another moonlit slab, arranging them in neat, comforting rows. The sight of these perfectly formed braids, still radiating gentle warmth, evokes a sense of quiet artistry and deep care. Each one seems to hum with a gentle, calming energy. Finally, the small, rounded moondrops emerge from the smallest oven. They're a delicate pale gold, their surfaces kissed with a faint shimmer from the glow sap Brocker replied earlier. When he places them on their cooling slab, a subtle, floral sweet scent emanates from them, mingled with the warm, honeyed fragrance of their golden preserve filling. They sit like precious jewels, glistening softly in the subdued light, each one a tiny sphere of concentrated comfort. As the pastries cool, a transformation continues. Their crusts become firmer, developing that satisfying, subtle crispness, while their interiors remain impossibly soft and tender. The intense heat of the oven has coaxed out the fullest expression of their flavors, and as they cool, these flavors begin to mellow and deepen, intertwining into a harmonious whole. The aromas, while still potent, become more nuanced and settle into a comforting presence in the air, a constant reminder of the deliciousness and serenity being crafted here. Broker watches over the cooling process with the same quiet vigilance he applies to every stage of his baking. He occasionally turns a loaf or shifts a pastry, ensuring even cooling. His movements are unhurried, reflecting the steady rhythm of the bakery. The silence, punctuated only by the soft hum of the stardust wheel and the occasional distant drip of water, enhances the sense of peaceful contemplation. It's a truly mesmerizing scene, watching these golden, fragrant creations slowly settle into their final, comforting forms on the cool, moonlit slabs. The entire cooling area itself feels like a sanctuary within a sanctuary. It's a space where the warmth of creation gently meets the coolness of the earth, where the vibrant energy of the oven slowly dissipates into the stillness of the night. The interplay of light and shadow reflected in the polished stone creates an almost dreamlike tableau, enhancing the feeling of being in a truly magical and tranquil place. The pastries, cooling under the earth, absorb the quietude of the deep, becoming infused with a calming essence that will translate into peaceful nourishment for those who partake of them. It's a profound testament to the holistic, gentle approach Broker applies to his craft, ensuring that every element contributes to the ultimate goal of comfort and rest. The aroma of the cooling pastries, now settled into their final, inviting forms on the moonlit slabs, permeates every corner of the midnight bakery. It's a comforting blend of sweet fruit, warm spice, and the deep, wholesome scent of baked flour, a symphony designed to soothe and beckon. Master Brocker, his work momentarily complete, stands by the cooling area, his gaze gentle and content, his quiet presence a beacon of tranquility. The rhythmic hum of the stardust mill continues its low, steady song in the background, a constant reminder of the gentle magic at play. Suddenly, a subtle shift in the ambient light near the entrance catches our attention. It's not a change in the glow from the ovens or the embedded crystals, but a soft, almost imperceptible brightening, as if tiny pockets of concentrated moonlight are drifting into the chamber. Then, From the hidden passage we entered, they begin to arrive, the quiet customers of the night. The first to appear are a pair of sleepy pixies, their forms barely visible, shimmering like heat haze in the air. They are no bigger than a thumb, with wings like dragonfly lace, and their tiny bodies glow with a faint, iridescent light. They don't fly in with a flurry, but drift, almost lazily, as if already half asleep. Their arrival is marked by the softest whisper of air displacement, a barely audible sigh. They alight on a nearby shelf, their small, delicate hands rubbing their equally tiny eyes, a charming display of innocent drowsiness. Brocker offers them a quiet, almost imperceptible nod, and they respond with a delicate shimmer of their wings, a silent greeting. Next, a family of moon moths flutter in, not like frantic insects drawn to a lamp, but with a slow, graceful undulation of their velvety wings. Their wings are patterned with swirls of deep indigo and shimmering silver, mimicking the night sky. They are larger than the pixies, perhaps the size of a human hand, and their bodies are covered in a soft, luminescent down. They hover gently near the cooling slabs, their multifaceted eyes reflecting the soft glow of the pastries with a quiet longing. Their presence adds a delicate, almost ethereal quality to the atmosphere, their silent movements a quiet dance in the moonlit chamber. Following them is a wandering sprite, his form lean and graceful, made of what appears to be woven moonlight and ancient moss. He moves with a fluid, almost flowing motion, his steps soundless on the stone floor. His eyes, dark and ancient, take in the scene with a quiet appreciation, and a faint, knowing smile plays on his lips. He carries a tiny, intricately carved flute, though he makes no sound, choosing instead to absorb the bakery's tranquil hum. He finds a quiet spot near the spring, settling down with an almost imperceptible sigh of contentment. Then come the glowing beetles, not like common insects, but larger, jewel-toned creatures whose carapaces pulse with a soft, warm light, like miniature ambulatory lanterns. They move slowly, deliberately, their tiny legs clicking softly on the stone as they make their way towards the irresistible aromas. They seem to communicate through subtle shifts in their light, a silent conversation of anticipation. They are drawn to the comforting sense like iron to a magnet, their collective glow adding another layer of gentle illumination to the bakery. Each arrival is unhurried, a gentle unfolding of the night's clientele. There's no jostling or impatience, only a shared sense of quiet longing for the comfort and nourishment that Brocker's Bakery provides. They glide or float or scuttle into the chamber, their forms diverse, but their intent singular, to partake in the midnight treats that will help them settle into a peaceful rest after their nocturnal wanderings. Brocker watches them, his kind eyes reflecting their quiet satisfaction, a silent guardian of their nightly ritual. The atmosphere shifts slightly with their presence, becoming even more enchanted, yet no less peaceful. The air hums not just with the gentle energies of the mill and ovens, but with the quiet anticipation of these unique patrons. They settle themselves in various nooks and crannies, their soft glows adding to the diffused light of the chamber, creating a truly magical scene. There's a palpable sense of community, a silent understanding between the baker and his ethereal customers, all bound by the quiet magic of the midnight hour and the promise of sweet dreams. The quiet hum of the midnight bakery deepens, now enriched by the subtle energies of the nocturnal visitors who have quietly gathered. The air shimmers with their faint, otherworldly glows, creating an even more ethereal atmosphere. Master Brooker, with a gentle smile that creases the corners of his kind eyes, now turns his attention to his unique clientele. He moves with a quiet dignity, approaching each group of visitors with a subtle nod or a soft, understanding gaze. He first approaches the sleepy pixies, who are now perched on a high shelf, their tiny forms huddled together. With a careful hand, Brooker selects a few of the delicate moon drops, the small golden buns filled with the shimmering preserve. He places them on a tiny, intricately carved wooden platter, no larger than his palm. He then extends the platter towards them, holding it steady. The pixies, their eyes still heavy-lidded, stir with a renewed flutter of their iridescent wings. One, bolder than the rest, delicately unfurls its tiny hand and takes a moondrop. As it brings the pastry to its equally tiny mouth, its body seems to glow a little brighter, and a faint sigh of contentment escapes its lips. Brooker watches, a look of quiet satisfaction on his face as the other pixies follow suit, their sleepiness gradually giving way to a gentle, nourishing calm. He then turns to the moon moths, who hover patiently near the cooling slabs, their elegant wings gently undulating. For them, Brooker chooses the starlight cookies, the delicate star-shaped biscuits that shimmer with their own faint luminescence. He places a few on a large, smooth leaf he retrieves from a hidden alcove, a leaf so perfectly preserved it seems to still pulse with life. The moon moths gracefully alight upon the leaf, their velvety antennae gently tapping the cookies. They don't bite, but seem to absorb the essence of the cookie through their antennae, their bodies pulsing with a deeper, more vibrant silver as they partake. Brooker murmurs a soft, almost inaudible blessing, a whisper about peaceful journeys through the night sky. The wandering sprite, who has settled by the crystal pond, looks up as Brooker approaches. The dwarf carries one of the rustic, hearty night-bloom loaves, still radiating a deep, comforting warmth. He breaks off a generous portion, its interior soft and aromatic, and offers it to the sprite. The sprite takes it with a silent, graceful gesture, his ancient eyes reflecting a profound gratitude. He doesn't eat with haste, but rather tears off small pieces, savoring each bite slowly, as if drawing strength and quiet wisdom from the earth-infused bread. Brooker then sits beside him on a low stone, and a quiet, unspoken conversation unfolds between them. It's not with words, but with a shared sense of peace, a mutual understanding of the night's gentle rhythms. The quiet presence of the sprite, combined with Brooker's steady aura, creates a small pocket of deep tranquility in the chamber. As the glowing beetles scuttle slowly toward him, Brooker offers them the ember biscuits, the crisp rounds baked directly on the hearth's cooling coals. Their carapaces pulse with excitement as they approach, their tiny legs clicking softly. The beetles gently mouth the biscuits, and with each bite their light seems to intensify, glowing with a soft, steady warmth. Broker watches them with a knowing gaze, acknowledging their quiet hunger for comfort. Throughout these quiet exchanges, Broker maintains his unhurried pace, his movements imbued with patience and a deep respect for each creature. He listens more than he speaks, his presence offering a silent understanding. The bakery, already a haven of peace, becomes even more deeply serene as these gentle interactions unfold. The atmosphere is thick with quiet gratitude, with shared moments of simple, profound nourishment. There's a beautiful reciprocity. Broker provides the comforting sustenance, and in return, the quiet presence of his customers fills the bakery with an even deeper sense of purpose and tranquility. The shared stories are not told through words, but through gentle glances, soft gestures, and the profound calming effect of the warm, enchanted pastries being quietly consumed in the heart of the glowing hills.
As the quiet customers of the night savor their chosen treats, a gentle sense of peace permeates the midnight bakery. The soft glows from the pixies, the moon moths, and the glowing beetles add a magical sparkle to the chamber, while the wandering sprite's serene presence by the pond deepens the tranquility. Master Brocker, ever attuned to the needs of his nocturnal visitors, now turns his attention to crafting the perfect accompaniment for their calming pastries, a special brew of herb tea. He moves towards a small recessed alcove near the bubbling spring, where a delicate crystalline kettle rests on a low, warmed stone. The kettle itself seems to glow faintly, reflecting the gentle light of the bakery. From a series of small, unlabeled earthenware jars, Brocker begins to select dried herbs with a discerning eye and a gentle hand. He doesn't measure precisely, but rather with an intuitive understanding, his fingers accustomed to the textures and subtle fragrances of each leaf and petal. He first selects a generous pinch of what appears to be lavender, its muted purple hue hinting at its calming properties. Its aroma is soft, floral, and instantly soothing. "This is dream lavender," he murmurs, his voice a low, comforting drone. "It helps to quiet the racing mind, allowing thoughts to drift away like clouds on a summer breeze." He drops the petals into a delicate, woven tea infuser made of fine, silvery moss. Next, he adds a few dried leaves of a plant he calls sleep bloom, its leaves a dusty green, smelling faintly of warm honey and chamomile. From the quietest glades, where the moonlight lingers longest, these leaves cradle the spirit, encouraging gentle rest. A single tiny star-shaped pod, black and subtly fragrant with an earthy sweetness, is then added. This is a night seed for grounding and deep contentment. Finally, he picks a handful of what looks like tiny, iridescent petals, shimmering with all the colors of a distant nebula. These he calls starlight petals, gathered from flowers that only bloom under the most intense constellations. Their fragrance is ethereal, light, and subtly sweet, like the cool air of a clear night.
For clarity of spirit and gentle awakenings, he adds, his voice imbued with a quiet wisdom. With the herbs carefully placed in the infuser, Brocker then takes a ladle and gently scoops water from the crystal-clear spring into the glowing kettle. The water shimmers as it enters, seeming to absorb the light of the kettle itself. He places the infuser into the water, and immediately the liquid begins to change, a gentle swirl of color emanating from the herbs, turning the water a soft, translucent amber. A delicate plume of fragrant steam rises, carrying the combined aromas of the herbs into the air, mingling with the sweet scents of the pastries. The kettle, warmed by the natural geothermal heat of the stone beneath it, slowly brings the water to a perfect, gentle simmer. There is no harsh bubbling, no aggressive steam, just a gradual warming that allows the herbs to infuse their essence fully into the water. The sound is a barely audible whisper, a soft, contented sigh. As the tea brews, Brocker closes his eyes for a moment, his broad chest rising and falling with slow, even breaths, as if he is absorbing the calming essence of the brew himself. Once the tea is ready, Brocker pours it into an assortment of tiny, exquisitely crafted cups, each made from polished stone or delicate, hollowed-out gourds. Some are no bigger than a thimble for the pixies, while others are small bowls for the larger sprites and moon moths. The liquid gleams, a comforting golden hue. He distributes them quietly among his visitors, offering each cup with a silent, understanding gesture. The gentle creatures of the night sip their tea slowly, their forms seemingly settling even further into tranquility. The pixies glow a shade softer, their wing beats slowing to an almost imperceptible flutter. The moon moths spread their wings in a gesture of deep relaxation, and the wandering sprite closes his eyes, a serene smile on his face. The aroma of the herb tea now blends seamlessly with the pastries, creating an all-encompassing sensory experience designed purely for peace and rest. It's the perfect end to their midnight feast, a gentle transition from quiet consumption to the sweet embrace of coming slumber. As the quiet sips of herb tea are savored, and the last crumbs of pastries are gently consumed, a new layer of serenity settles over the midnight bakery. It's a profound stillness, punctuated by the gentle rhythmic sounds of Brocker's craft. These are the sounds of baking, a continuous, soft lullaby that fills the serene underground space, a melody crafted not from notes, but from dedication and quiet precision. The dominant sound is the pervasive, low hum of the stardust flour mill. It's a deep, resonant vibration, almost like the earth's own heartbeat, a steady thrum that speaks of unseen energies at work. This isn't a harsh mechanical whine, but a gentle, organic purr, a quiet testament to the constant process of transforming raw starlight into shimmering, ethereal flower. It's a sound that doesn't demand attention, but rather melts into the background, becoming an integral part of the bakery's soothing atmosphere. It reminds us that even when things appear still, profound transformations are quietly taking place. Beneath the hum, we can discern the soft, rhythmic breathing of the ember-kissed ovens. There is no crackle of flames, no roar of intense heat, but a deep, steady exhalation of warmth. It's a sound that's felt more than heard, a gentle pulse that radiates outwards, warming the very stones of the chamber and enveloping us in a comforting embrace. Every so often, there's a barely audible click as the geothermal energy subtly adjusts, maintaining the perfect, even temperature. This consistent, unwavering warmth creates a sense of security and stability, reassuring us that all is well within this hidden sanctuary. As Brocker begins to prepare for the next batch of dough, the soft rustle of flour becomes apparent. It's the whisper of the stardust flour as he pours it from its crock into a large wooden mixing bowl, a sound like gentle rain on dry leaves. Then comes the muted clink of earthenware as he adds other ingredients, the quiet pour of the pure spring water from the crystal basin, the delicate thump of dried fruit as it falls into the bowl, and the soft plink of shimmering sugar crystals. Each sound is subtle, distinct, yet harmonious, contributing to the overall quiet symphony. When he begins to knead, the rhythmic thump, slap, fold of his strong, gentle hands returns. This is perhaps the most mesmerizing sound of all. It's a deep, satisfying percussion, a steady beat that echoes the very process of creation. There's a soft sigh from the dough itself as it yields to his touch, releasing tiny pockets of air, a living entity responding to its maker. This rhythmic kneading is utterly hypnotic, drawing our focus inward, quieting the restless chatter of our minds. It's a sound of purpose, of dedication, and of a profound connection between the baker and his craft. Occasionally, the gentle drip of water from the crystal spring offers a delicate counterpoint to the deeper sounds. It's a pure, clean sound, a tiny bell-like chime that reminds us of the natural elements at play in this underground haven. It's a refreshing note amidst the warmth and sweetness, adding to the feeling of balance and tranquility. Even the almost imperceptible creak of a wooden shelf as Brocker moves a container, or the soft swish of his linen apron as he turns, are absorbed into this lullaby, becoming part of its quiet charm. There is no sharp clang of metal, no sudden burst of noise, no jarring interruptions. Every sound in the midnight bakery is muted, softened, and contributes to the pervasive sense of calm. It's as if the very air itself has learned to be gentle, amplifying only those sounds that soothe and quiet the spirit. This continuous ambient soundscape, the hum, the warmth, the rustle, the knead, the drip, weaves together into a sonic blanket, pulling us deeper into a state of profound relaxation. It's the sound of peace, of meticulous care, and of the unhurried passage of time in a world where rest is paramount. This gentle lullaby of baking is truly a melody for the soul, easing us closer to slumber.
The gentle lullaby of the midnight bakery continues its soothing rhythm, a continuous tapestry of soft sounds and comforting warmth. Master Brocker, having ensured his nocturnal guests are content with their tea and pastries, now shifts his focus to the final delicate embellishments for his creations. His hands, still dusted faintly with stardust flour, move with an even greater sense of precision and artistry as he begins polishing the precious sugar crystals. He approaches a special alcove, illuminated by a particularly soft, silvery glow emanating from embedded veins of quartz in the stone. Here, on a small elevated slab of what appears to be polished moonstone, rests a collection of shimmering sugar crystals. These are not ordinary granular sugar we might know. These crystals are larger, some no bigger than a pearl, others the size of a small pebble, and each one catches the light in 1,000 tiny facets, scattering it into miniature rainbows. Their luminescence is subtle, an inner light that seems to pulse faintly, almost as if they hold captured moonbeams within their core. Brocker explains in his quiet, rumbling voice that these are lunar shards, naturally occurring sugar formations found only in the deepest, most undisturbed crystal caverns beneath the glowing hills. He says they are infused with the calm energy of the deep earth and the gentle light of the moon that filters down through the rock, he murmurs. He picks up a small, exquisitely soft brush made from what looks like the finest, purest cloud-spun fibers, and a delicate, almost invisible cloth woven from spider silk. With painstaking care, he begins to clean and polish each crystal. His movements are incredibly slow and deliberate, as if each shard is a tiny, fragile jewel. He brushes away any lingering dust, then gently buffs the surfaces with the silk cloth, coaxing out their fullest brilliance. As he polishes, the crystals seem to glow more intensely, their inner light becoming more defined, shimmering with a captivating, ethereal beauty. There's a faint, almost inaudible whisper as the silk cloth glides over the crystal surfaces, a sound as delicate as a moth's wing beat. The air around him becomes subtly sweeter, filled with the faint, pure fragrance of the polished sugar, a clean and delicate aroma that is entirely distinct from the heavier sense of baking. It's the scent of pure sweetness, untainted and pristine, promising a final touch of delight to the pastries. He holds each crystal up to the light, examining it with a discerning eye, ensuring its perfection before gently placing it into a separate velvet-lined box. These polished sugar crystals are destined for the most special of his baked goods, to be used as delicate, edible decorations. Brocker describes how they are not merely for sweetness, but for their calming visual appeal and their subtle, energetic properties. A single lunar shard, placed just so, can draw the eye into a moment of quiet contemplation, and its light brings a touch of clarity to the mind, he speaks. He speaks of how the ancient dwarves believed that consuming these moon-infused crystals could enhance vivid, peaceful dreams, helping the mind to process the day's impressions with gentle ease. He also polishes a finer, more powdery form of moon-petal sugar, similar to what he uses for delicate glazes, but prepared for sprinkling. This is contained in a delicate silver shaker, its holes so tiny they release the sugar like shimmering dust.
As he sifts a small amount onto a testing surface, it falls like iridescent snow, catching the light and sparkling with 1,000 tiny shifting colors. This, he says, is for the final flourish, a delicate dusting that evokes the quiet magic of a moonlit night. The entire process of polishing the crystals is a meditative act, a testament to the meticulous care Brocker puts into every detail of his craft. There's no hurry, no impatience, just a deep, abiding respect for the materials and the tranquility they represent. His hands, usually busy with the kneading and shaping of dough, now perform this delicate, almost jewel-like work with an equally profound grace. Watching him, we feel a sense of calm settle deeper within us, recognizing the beauty in such small, dedicated gestures. The gentle glow of the crystals, combined with the soft sounds and comforting aromas, creates an atmosphere of profound and unhurried peace, preparing us for the quiet, sweet embrace of the night. The gentle polishing of the lunar shards concludes, their quiet sparkle adding another layer of serene beauty to the midnight bakery. The soft sounds and sweet aromas continue to weave their spell, deepening the profound sense of tranquility within the chamber. Master Brocker, his hands now briefly at rest, turns his gaze towards the heart of his domain, the ever-warm hearth. It is more than just a source of heat, it is the very soul of the bakery. Built from massive, dark, smooth stones, the hearth occupies a central position, its wide archway inviting and profound. There are no active flames leaping within, no bright, dancing fire, but a deep, enduring core of glowing embers. They pulse with a soft, steady orange light, radiating a pervasive warmth that permeates every stone, every surface, every breath of air in the chamber. It's a primal warmth, ancient and comforting, like the gentle heat of the earth itself. The light from these embers is soft and mesmerizing. It's not bright enough to banish the shadows, but rather to play with them, casting long, dancing shadows that stretch and sway across the carved stone walls. These shadows are not menacing, but graceful, shifting forms that add to the dreamlike quality of the bakery. They stretch the familiar shapes of tools and ingredients, turning them into abstract, flowing patterns that invite the eye to wander and the mind to drift. Watching them is like observing a slow, silent ballet, each movement a gentle nudge towards deeper relaxation. The warmth emanating from the hearth is profound. It's a deep, penetrating heat that sinks into the bones, releasing any lingering stiffness or tension. It feels like a comforting blanket wrapped around us, a gentle embrace that speaks of security and protection. This isn't a stifling heat, but a breathable, nourishing warmth that encourages slow, deep breaths, filling the lungs with the gentle, spiced air of the bakery. It's the kind of warmth that makes one want to simply settle down, close their eyes, and let go of all worries. Brocker explains that the hearth is sustained by the residual energy of ancient volcanic flows deep beneath the glowing hills, carefully channeled and controlled through forgotten dwarven techniques. It has been warm for longer than even the oldest tales remember, he whispers, his voice imbued with reverence. Its heat is steady, unwavering, a constant beacon in the heart of the earth. This constancy provides an undeniable sense of stability and reassurance, a foundational element of the bakery's profound peace. Around the hearth, on low, comfortable stone benches, sit the quiet customers of the night. The pixies, moon moths, sprites, and glowing beetles. They are not merely warming themselves, but seem to be absorbing the tranquil energy that radiates from the embers. The pixies glow a little brighter, the moon moth's wing beats become even slower, and the wandering sprite closes his eyes in silent contemplation, all basking in the comforting aura of the warmth. It encourages them to settle, to unwind, and to prepare for their own quiet slumbers. The flickering, gentle light from the hearth is hypnotic. It draws the eye, inviting peaceful contemplation. There's a timeless quality to it, a sense of deep, abiding peace that has existed for eons and will continue to exist for eons more. It's a reminder of continuity, of the unchanging rhythms of the earth, and of the simple, profound comfort that can be found in warmth and stillness. The subtle crackling sounds that sometimes emanate from the embers are barely audible, more like a gentle whisper, adding to the ambient soundscape without disturbing the tranquility. In this moment, the hearth is not just a functional part of the bakery, it is a symbol of solace, a gathering point for quiet souls, and a silent promise of enduring comfort. Its consistent, comforting glow provides a perfect backdrop to the gentle artistry of Broker, making the midnight bakery a true sanctuary from the bustling world. The pervasive warmth invites us to lean into it, to let go, and to allow the deep, ancient comfort of the earth's heart to lull us into a state of profound peace. The hearth's steady, comforting glow continues to warm the midnight bakery, its deep, ancient heat permeating the very air. The quiet customers of the night are settled, their subtle lights shimmering with contentment. Master Broker, with a sense of profound purpose, now turns his attention to the special sleep-inducing loaves, the very heart of his nightly ritual, designed to guide restless souls into profound slumber. He moves towards a long, low table, crafted from a single, smoothly polished slab of petrified wood, its surface etched with faint, swirling patterns that resemble distant galaxies. Here, several large oval-shaped loaves rest on individual wooden boards, already baked to a rich, golden brown, their crusts subtly textured. These are the sleep-inducing loaves, larger and more substantial than the pastries, and they exude an even deeper, more profound sense of warmth and comfort. Their subtle scent is unique, a blend of rich, wholesome grain, a hint of something earthy like damp moss, and a delicate, almost ethereal floral note that whispers of deep peace. Broker explains in his quiet, resonant voice that these loaves are kneaded from a special blend of earth-grown grains and the finest stardust flour, combined with the unique, slow-acting yeast found only in the deepest, stillest caverns. But their true power, he reveals, comes from the slumber vine infusion. He gestures to a small ceramic pot filled with a dark, thick liquid, its surface subtly swirling with a faint silvery luminescence. This vine, he murmurs, grows only where the earth's oldest dreams gather, and its essence helps to quiet the mind's incessant turning, inviting only the most peaceful rest. He takes up a small, fine-bristled brush made from badger hair, and with immense care begins to gently brush the tops of the still warm loaves with this slumber vine infusion. The liquid is absorbed instantly, leaving behind a subtle sheen and enhancing the loave's inherent calming aroma. The scent deepens, becoming even more potent and comforting, like the scent of warm earth after a gentle rain, mingled with the sweetest dreams. Each stroke of the brush is slow, deliberate, almost a ritual, as if Broker is imbuing the bread with his own calm intentions. As he works, he describes the delicate patterns he scores into the top of each loaf before baking. Some have gentle, undulating waves, mimicking the flow of a peaceful river. Others bear intricate spirals meant to guide the mind inward, away from external distractions. Still others feature softly rounded moon phases, symbolizing the cycle of rest and renewal. These designs are not just decorative, they are symbolic pathways meant to visually reinforce the loaf's purpose of guiding the consumer towards tranquility. He talks about the patience required for these loaves. They rise slowly over many hours, absorbing the quietude of the midnight bakery, their dough becoming imbued with the stillness of the deep earth. They are baked at a very low, consistent temperature in the largest oven, allowing their unique ingredients to fully meld and their calming properties to develop. The long, gentle bake ensures that the loaves are incredibly soft and tender on the inside, with a thin, yielding crust that breaks apart with the gentlest touch. Broker meticulously arranges the sleep-inducing loaves in a large woven basket lined with soft, undyed linen. Each loaf is placed with care, nestling comfortably against its neighbor. The basket itself seems to hum with a gentle, reassuring energy, radiating the comforting warmth and aroma of the bread within. The sight of these loaves, carefully prepared and imbued with such a profound purpose, is deeply reassuring. They are not just food, they are tangible promises of restful sleep, crafted with utmost care and ancient wisdom. The subtle scent of the loaves continues to expand around us like a very soft, invisible blanket. It's a scent that bypasses conscious thought, going straight to the deepest parts of the mind, whispering of peace, safety, and the profound quiet of a truly restorative slumber. With the sleep-inducing loaves carefully arranged and infused with their calming essence, Master Brocker leads us to another tranquil corner of the midnight bakery. Here, the soft, pervasive glow of the chamber takes on a subtly different quality, becoming even more serene and reflective. Our gaze is drawn to a small, almost hidden feature within the smooth stone floor, a crystal pond. It's not a large body of water, perhaps only a few paces across, but its depth seems infinite. The water within is extraordinarily clear, so pure and still that it appears almost invisible, allowing the smooth, pale stones at its bottom to be seen with perfect clarity. What truly sets it apart, however, is its luminous quality. The crystal-clear water actively reflects the soft glow of the bakery, catching the ember light from the ovens, the subtle shimmer from the stardust flour, and the gentle luminescence of the surrounding quartz veins. These reflections dance and ripple across its surface, creating a constantly shifting tableau of muted colors and soft light. As we approach, the air around the pond feels noticeably cooler, a refreshing contrast to the ambient warmth of the bakery, yet still comforting. A faint, almost imperceptible whisper of sound emanates from the pond, the softest possible movement of water, a barely audible ripple that seems to sigh contentedly. It's the sound of stillness, of undisturbed peace, a liquid echo of the profound quiet that permeates this hidden world. Brocker explains in his low, soothing voice that this pond is fed by a unique subterranean spring that flows from the heart of the glowing hills through veins of ancient purifying crystals. The water here holds the quiet reflections of all that passes through this bakery, he murmurs, his gaze fixed on the shimmering surface. It mirrors not just the light, but the calm intentions, the peaceful moments. He gestures to the tiny luminous specks that occasionally drift within the water, like minute stars in a liquid sky. These, he explains, are dream motes, tiny fragments of peaceful dreams that have settled into the water, adding to its tranquil properties. The surface of the pond is unmarred, perfectly smooth, like a sheet of glass. When one of the moon moths delicately dips a wingtip into it, the ripples spread outward in slow, elegant circles, disturbing the reflections for only a moment before the surface settles back into its pristine stillness. The visual effect is utterly mesmerizing, drawing the eye into a state of quiet contemplation. It's easy to lose oneself in the shifting patterns of light on the water, allowing thoughts to drift and dissolve, much like the gentle ripples fading back into calm. The wandering sprite, who earlier partook of the night-bloom loaf, has returned to the pond, sitting cross-legged at its edge. He gazes into its depths, his ancient eyes reflecting the dancing lights, a profound sense of inner peace radiating from him. He doesn't touch the water, but simply absorbs its serene energy, drawing quiet contemplation from its luminous stillness. His presence adds to the sacred feeling of this space, as if the pond is a place of silent communion with the deepest energies of the earth. Brocker often comes to the crystal pond during the quietest hours of his baking, he tells us, to simply observe and recenter himself. He finds that looking into its clear, reflective surface helps to clear his mind, letting go of any lingering thoughts or distractions from the world above. It's a natural meditative aid, a place to reset and reconnect with the profound tranquility of his underground sanctuary. The cool, pure presence of the crystal pond provides a refreshing counterpoint to the warm, aromatic air of the bakery. It represents clarity, stillness, and the reflective nature of true peace. It's a silent, shining heart within the chamber, a place where light and tranquility converge, drawing us deeper into the profound rest that this hidden world promises. The subtle light, the almost imperceptible sounds, and the refreshing coolness all conspire to further lull our senses, preparing us for the quiet descent into slumber. The luminous stillness of the crystal pond reflects the tranquil heart of the midnight bakery, its soft, shifting lights guiding us deeper into a state of serene calm. The air is now a perfect blend of comforting warmth and refreshing coolness, infused with the gentle aromas of baked goods and soothing herbs. Master Brocker, with the same unhurried grace that defines all his actions, now begins the quiet preparations for the approaching dawn, tidying his tools with meticulous care. He moves first to the large granite kneading table, its surface still faintly dusted with the shimmering stardust flour. With a soft, broad brush made of woven plant fibers, he sweeps away every trace of flour, every stray crumb, into a small, intricately carved wooden scoop. His movements are slow and deliberate, each brushstroke a testament to his dedication to order and cleanliness. There's a soft swish, swish sound as the brush glides across the smooth stone, a gentle rhythmic whisper that contributes to the bakery's quiet harmony. The table, once cleared, seems to breathe a sigh of contentment, ready for its rest. Next, he gathers the array of baking tools he used throughout the night. The wooden rolling pins, the intricate cutters shaped like leaves and stars, the delicate spatulas, each item is handled with a tender reverence. He wipes each tool clean with a soft, damp cloth, removing any residue of dough or spice. The metal tools gleam faintly in the diffused light, reflecting the ambient glow of the chamber. As he cleans them, he murmurs softly to himself, a low, contented hum, as if bidding them a quiet good night. Each tool is then returned to its specific resting place on the polished stone shelves, nestled securely, waiting patiently for the next night's work. The methodical precision of his actions is deeply calming, a visual representation of order and completion. He then turns his attention to the empty wooden troughs and bowls that held the rising dough. These too are carefully scraped clean, their surfaces smoothed by his gentle hands. He rinses them with the pure, clear water from the crystal spring, the water cascading softly over the wood with a delicate gurgle. The sound is refreshing, a cleansing note in the peaceful symphony of the bakery. Once cleaned, the bowls are left to air dry on a specially designed rack, their shapes catching the subtle light, ready for another night's magic. Brocker checks the ember-kissed ovens, gently opening each stone door just a crack. The deep orange glow inside has softened further, becoming a more muted, persistent warmth. He carefully sweeps away any cooled ash with a long-handled, soft brush, ensuring the vents remain clear for the natural geothermal flow. The warmth emanating from the ovens is still profound, but it feels like a sleeping giant, quietly holding its energy rather than actively creating. He closes the doors with a soft, final click, a sound of gentle closure. He moves through the chamber, his broad, quiet presence a testament to meticulous care. He straightens a hanging bundle of herbs, adjusts a jar of shimmering sugar crystals, and smooths the linen cloths covering the cooling pastries. Every action is purposeful, yet unhurried, reflecting a profound respect for his sacred space and the magical ingredients within it. There's a subtle sense of completion in the air, a quiet satisfaction that comes from a job well done, from creations brought into being with love and dedication. The quiet customers of the night, having finished their treats and tea, are now settled into various states of slumber. The pixies are curled up like tiny fur balls on a soft mossy patch, their glows barely perceptible. The moon moths rest their wings, clinging to the rough stone walls, their patterns blending with the shadows. Even the wandering sprite has succumbed to the deep peace, his form a still silhouette by the crystal pond, his faint, ancient smile still gracing his lips. Brocker looks upon them with a paternal warmth, his role as provider of comfort complete for this night. The entire bakery exhales a collective sigh of contentment, preparing to settle into the quietude of the fading night, awaiting the gentle dawn. The midnight bakery now hums with a deep, even, easy-to-listen male voice, like a fairy tale teller helping others fall asleep. The midnight bakery now hums with a deep, pervasive quietude, a profound stillness that has settled in as Master Broker concludes his meticulous preparations. The air is rich with the lingering sense of warm bread and soothing herbs, softened by the gentle coolness from the crystal pond. The ember-kissed ovens still radiate their ancient warmth, but their glow has begun to subtly recede, mirroring the gradual fading of the night itself. This is the moment when the magical glow of the bakery begins to subtly fade as the night deepens toward morning. The embedded crystals in the stone walls, which once sparkled with myriad points of light, now pulse with a slower, gentler rhythm. Their inner luminescence diminishes, becoming softer, more diffused, as if they too are growing sleepy. The veins of quartz, which earlier shimmered with a silvery light, now appear more muted, their brilliance drawing inward, preparing for the long day of slumber that awaits the underground world. The effect is not one of darkness descending, but of a gentle dimming, a soft transition from a vibrant, glowing sanctuary to a peaceful, resting haven. The rhythmic hum of the stardust flour mill, once a consistent drone, now grows fainter, becoming an almost imperceptible whisper. It sounds like a distant lullaby, slowly fading into the quiet of the deep earth. The tiny motes of starlight within its crystal sphere spin with less vigor, their dance slowing to a gentle drift, as if settling down for their own quiet rest. The energy that powers the mill, drawn from the unseen currents of the glowing hills, seems to recede deeper into the earth's embrace, leaving behind only a lingering resonance. The very air within the chamber seems to grow heavier, not with stagnation, but with a profound sense of peace and stillness. The subtle currents of warmth from the ovens and the refreshing coolness from the pond begin to merge, creating a perfectly balanced temperature that encourages deep relaxation. Any lingering sense of baking bread becomes softer, more elusive, mingling with the subtle, sweet scent of slumber, a fragrance that promises restorative rest. The long dancing shadows cast by the hearth's glow shorten and soften, becoming indistinct, melting into the deeper gloom of the alcoves and corners. The ember light itself recedes further into the hearth, a deep internal warmth that remains present but no longer outwardly radiates with the same intensity. It's as if the hearth, having completed its work of baking and warming, now closes its eyes for a long, well-deserved sleep, its internal fire banking for the coming day. Broker himself seems to embody this fading glow. His movements, already unhurried, become even slower, imbued with a quiet contemplation. He stands in the center of the chamber, his broad shoulders slightly relaxed, his kind eyes taking in the dimming beauty of his creation. There's a profound sense of satisfaction about him, the quiet contentment of a craftsman who knows his work is done and well done. He might gently run his hand over the cool surface of a stone table, a silent farewell to the night's endeavors. The quiet customers, nestled comfortably in their chosen spots, are now truly deep in slumber. The pixie's glow is barely a spark, the moon moths are completely still, their wings folded, and the wandering sprite is a motionless silhouette by the pond. Their gentle breathing, if audible, would be the only sound breaking the profound quiet. They are enveloped in the deep peace that Broker's midnight bakery provides, their dreams nurtured by the magic they have consumed. The overall feeling is one of transition, a slow, graceful descent into profound stillness. The magical glow doesn't vanish abruptly, but gracefully recedes, like the last blush of twilight giving way to the deep star-filled night. The bakery is becoming a place of deep, undisturbed rest, a peaceful cradle beneath the earth, ensuring that all who linger within its warmth will find the sweetest and most restorative of slumbers. It's a quiet winding down, a gentle farewell to the active magic of the night, preparing for the dawn's silent embrace. The soft, ambient glow of the midnight bakery now holds just a whisper of its former luminosity, a gentle, pervasive twilight that settles over every surface. The rhythmic sounds of Broker's work have ceased entirely, replaced by a profound stillness, a sense of deep quiet that promises true rest. The air, cool yet comforting, carries only the faintest, lingering essence of baked warmth and the subtle, sleep-inducing herbs. All movement has stilled. The bakery itself seems to be holding its breath, inviting everyone within its embrace to do the same. Master Broker, his night's labor complete, stands by the entrance, his broad silhouette softening in the deepening calm. His hands, no longer busy with dough or spices, rest at his sides, radiating a quiet contentment. He casts a final, gentle gaze around his beloved bakery, taking in the sleeping forms of his nocturnal visitors, the settled tools, the quiet ovens. There's a subtle nod of satisfaction, a silent acknowledgment of a night well spent, of countless moments of peace created and shared. He feels the pervasive calm, a reflection of his own steady spirit, settle over him like a cloak. As he turns to face the hidden passage, his presence seems to subtly merge with the dimming light, his form becoming less distinct, almost a part of the quiet shadows. He doesn't vanish, but rather fades, his essence blending with the tranquil energy of the underground sanctuary. It's as if he, the master baker, is becoming one with the bakery itself, a silent guardian of its nocturnal peace. His steady, soft breathing, if it could be heard, would be the only rhythm in the profound quiet, a gentle counterpoint to the stillness. We too feel this overwhelming wave of tranquility. Our own breathing slows, becoming deep and even, each inhale a breath of the bakery's calming air, each exhale a release of any lingering tension. The faint, sweet aroma of the sleep-inducing loaves seems to cradle us, gently nudging our minds toward slumber. Our eyelids feel heavy, a pleasant weight, and our thoughts begin to unspool, dissolving like delicate threads into the vast, quiet expanse of the night. The subtle cool from the crystal pond and the residual warmth from the hearth blend perfectly, creating an ideal temperature for deep relaxation. Our bodies grow heavy, sinking comfortably into the soft space we occupy, feeling utterly supported and safe. The gentle magic of the bakery, woven into its light, its sounds, its aromas, now washes over us, a final tender lullaby. We are drifting, softly, effortlessly, towards the edge of consciousness, drawn by an irresistible current of peace. The last visible shimmer from the stardust flower, the final faint pulse from the embedded crystals, all recede into the profound quiet. The bakery itself feels like a vast, cozy cavern, a gentle embrace in the heart of the earth. We are nestled, warm and secure, far from the hustle of the world above. Our minds are clear, unburdened by thought, filled only with the soft, comforting images of golden pastries, gentle lights, and the unwavering kindness of Master Brocker. We are sinking deeper, deeper into the soft embrace of slumber, carried by the quiet magic of the midnight bakery. The gentle scents, the serene warmth, the profound stillness, all merge into one seamless feeling of utter peace. Our breath grows softer, shallower, merging with the quiet of the night. The very notion of wakefulness seems distant, unimportant. The last of the light fades, leaving only the profound, comforting darkness, a blanket of velvet stillness. We are completely at ease, completely safe, utterly at peace.